Got my own.
Make you mow your lawn or something?
No, the previous board, that's why I got on the board,
Oh,
because they're letting stuff just go. I'm like, we pay dues to maintain common areas, like the walking trails are bad shape. One guy wants to spend $20,000 on live streaming to block his view of progressive
I
subdivision.
didn't get on the HOA because they left the barn, they looked like crap around the barn.
You can form your own.
People say anything to incriminate either. Good morning, everyone. We'll call to order the April 8th meeting of the Madison County Board of Commissioners. I'm Chris Wallace, if everyone would introduce themselves.
Tony Sinigas.
Brandon Shea.
Rob Slang.
David Fell.
Nick Atkins, prosecutor.
John Swaney, your sheriff.
Ron Dominic, assistant clerk. Amy Reese, clerk.
I'm Chair. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. Everyone had a good weekend again, as usual. Not much, for your board this morning. We've been pretty busy. Normal call for service to the sheriff's office over the weekend. The only item of business that I had for your board this morning, and Amy will cover during her business, is a resolution to, allow me to enter into contract with the, city of London to complete that, central dispatching, as we previously discussed. And that will, if we accomplish that, that will close that, we were going, and we will be on board.
Can we officially say we have a centralized dispatch?
At that point in time, we will officially say, once we enter the contract, we officially say we should have centralized dispatch there.
So Plain City is probably the only one.
They usually,
And then,
they always have for.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, if something would happen, we'd have to entertain that. Fixing, happy with the county. We're happy with the ones we have here. And move forward, but unless you don't have any.
Just on you said there'll be salary reimbursement, or that'll be figured out after the fact?
Yeah, it's already, yeah, salary reimbursement for the ones that we had to bring on board.
Mhm.
To suffice the amount of traffic that we'll have. So when we first did when that 911 levy was created, that, they had their own dispatch.
Mhm.
And now if they wanted to come on board, we didn't take that into account. So for good budgeting reasons, we came up with the amount of salary to be reimbursed. And then, moving forward, once we go into our next, with hopes that the levy will get renewed, there'll be no cost to them. It will be one levy centralized dispatch countywide.
and then legislation now is the proposed increase from 40 cents to 60 cents for 911, so you want to support that. And Mark's radios, I believe, there's some money included in Mark's radios.
Yeah, Mark's radios is really expensive too, though. That's an every year. Item to consider. Our cost. They're doing pretty good. I mean, it's just we still have a lot of radios that's on that original grant that keeps coming out flat a little bit, but yeah, no, moving forward, our future is bright for 911 center. That will probably expand within it. We're probably talking some supervisors, during shifts that we've never had because of the staff that we'll have. So my work is ahead of me, as we grow.
Very good. Thank you, sir. I think I have to handle the minutes. Everybody should have received a copy of the minutes. Move to approve.
Second.
First and a second. Any other discussion? None heard. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakus?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes. Okay. Mr. Atkins? What?
I only have one item I wanted to bring your attention. I don't think we need to go into executive sessions, but I'm not gonna get into the details of it, but I did want you to be aware and, Brian, this for you as well. I've been contacted by, Britta Braden, attorney Summer Shealy. Now she represents Brett Rothfuss. And so they are, contacting my office to talk about, the permitting issue that we had prior to even asking for the AG opinion. I know that, the county, commissioners and engineer been considering, what that frame looks like for those permits. So I just wanted to let you know there's probably a timing issue, because I'm gonna call her back and have that conversation, but I know there's gonna be some pressure, to move forward in reviewing those permit applications. So I want you to be aware of that.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberts will be joining us today for the comments too. He called yesterday, so. What you guys think?
Hey, Rob, sir.
Dick, on that note, make sure you, make her aware that her client has a unpermitted fiber optic hanging on her with permitted remote in Madison in Union County.
I suspect there's a lot she's.
That was brought to my attention yesterday.
That should be fun.
Anyway, good morning, the business for you. Did have a positive conversation with, Tony Charowski, the, District 6 Director regarding Route 40. Last week, he is anticipating a letter from us, and I think we've got a good dialogue on that. My office is on 10-hour days as of this week. 7 to 5 will be closed Friday. We put the snowplows away, so we have declared winter over.
Hopefully we don't get any more 24-degree mornings, so hopefully that's the case. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. David, do you have anything?
I guess the only thing I report, I guess, yeah, it's been a rough few weeks. There was an article in the Dispatch. And we were unable to get about amplified buyer, which is a spinoff of, with Hotel. Been around for about 4 years. It was announced, and it has nothing to do with any current economic policy. It's more lack of investment in biotech firms, but they've announced that they're closing operations completely. It's gonna affect us, it's gonna affect Dublin, New Albany as well. And it's just from what we've been trying to get again, going back to it, we've been trying to get a meeting with them for about 5-6 months now. They made it very difficult to schedule something, so we were kind of suspecting something was gonna happen. I think they committed and they had nothing local, they don't need tech incentives or anything like that. They would work through WestJet anyways, but 99 jobs is what they committed with the state, so at the Western facility. I think it was 240 states over New Albany. So, they just indicated without any other clarification, this is all in the news article, that had to do with a lack of investment from, in the biotech world at this point in time, and it was a different climate for reasons to come. So, other than that, still having some good conversations. I think the Ohio development's heading in the right direction in the county. Have a few projects that are looking at London, 42 to 70 up on 161. So we're excited to see what happens over the next 12 months.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
We'll grab a coffee real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Got that off as well. I don't think they've started pulling jurors.
Oh, no. You're well off the board, eh?
Are you saying that?
Yeah, he and I are gonna meet for a little, do you want me to for a little bit now, or do you want to be for?
Well, I mean, before it's in public comments, I mean, do you want to attend that?
No, that's true.
Okay.
Oh, considering he's one of the main ones, and it's my small file. It's
They're on my Amy docs.
Files away and I was watching the
A
news.
publisher's file, please.
87, that's when we had a blizzard,
I got
Oh, yeah.
like last week, we were only 50 that one.
Yep.
We had one on, April 1st or 2nd, back in,
Yeah, he probably changed this by putting the files up.
maybe it was earlier than that. All I know is
But
I was running the loader, I was loading salt trucks in the middle of the night for the engineer's office. I was mixing salt and grit, loading trucks.
I think it said 87, didn't it?
No, there was one after that, cause yeah. It was in like probably 4, 3 or 4, something, I don't know. It's 5, 6, somewhere around there.
All right. I come and nosy upstairs and check on out nosy next door. If you guys need something, let me know. And you see, like, good to see. Still sure. Right. There's how are you this morning?
Oh,
You all right? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he's works for Amazon, he's working hard, multi hours and stuff, so,
Pretty sure, I think.
yeah, and he's not at the, works with the, services. AWS, so.
Hey Sheriff, before you run,
I can walk, but.
we're submitting, resubmitting to the Marquetry and Bernie Marino, we're gonna ask for 5. Yes. And see if,
Can we ask for more?
well, that seems to be, the magic number.
I hate to be that blunt, but
Yeah, that seems to be our,
target area.
yeah, the number that we were, encouraged to ask for, so. We asked for 5 last time, we got 4.
Did I do something last time when I did that proposal letter
It,
ahead?
no, we're going to use the exact same thing, change the date on it.
Okay.
The carrier looked at me, so that's all I read, submits that, that's all I know. Right by the end of the week.
this back.
And the legislation comes in for the. No, they want to take the purchase of the 10 acre.
Right, so.
Yeah.
And I'm eager to learn how that works, because like I said, that's like beyond my forte, things I haven't.
But yeah, so when I bought the sewer and water plant, I went into language. They went through, gave them authority to sell it. We had a purchase agreement for $1, signed the agreement, they came over, we wrote them a check for $1. Transferred the property, had it recorded.
Well, it is my hopes.
It's pretty simple.
Obviously, we're at the will or mercy.
Yeah,
But it would really be nice if they would be more generous.
yeah,
But it is what it is, if you have to pay, it's paid.
yeah. I mean, it's basically giving them the DRC the authority to sell the property, so my thought is.
They're probably, it's just gonna be whatever the value of they.
Well, you know, considering what they thought the value was. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
I think that would be a good, that would be a good one for us.
Yeah.
If they stayed that same target amount and we're able to secure the 10 acres.
Yeah,
I guess we have to track Mr. Scooter down the line. Thank him for any support that he can give. All right,
that was it.
first time I need to do it.
No, I think I have it under control. Who do I look like? Yeah, so.
Breakfast, yeah, he said, brother, I guess the office.
Yeah.
So, I was talking because that's the second, shoot. I talked to Jim Stevens too, it's dangerous to talk to shoot on it, so they don't get able to every direction.
Roberta? Yes, sir. So I have only one thing on the agenda today, and that is appointment to the Mental Health and Recovery Board.
We actually called the sheriff that month, so we know where Sean's gonna come from.
Gotcha.
I mean, I understand.
So, base,
Guys, gentlemen, if you could, you're fine, we're back at it, sorry, you're fine.
So I did, interview our two candidates, and one decided not to, continue. Basically, she thought she was, applying for a different board. So that made our choice, or your choice, a little easier, and that would be Mr. David Doom. Now, he interviewed first, and he likely was going to be my recommendation just based on his experience that he has. So, with that said, that would be my recommendation to appoint Mr. David Doom to the Mental Health and Recovery Board.
I'll move.
Second,
Well, first and a second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
yes.
Dr. Sneakus?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Finally, Brendan, you're gonna be out next Tuesday. I've got quite a bit of business coming up here in the next few weeks, but none of it's time sensitive. So I'm gonna delay that till the following week we can come back.
Appreciate
it. That's all.
Just have a couple questions about resolutions, if I can ask you this. The non-discrimination policy, do you know what brought that about? Is there not one currently, or is this being updated? or-
There wasn't one currently. They basically had to come up with one for funding. And that, I mean, that's basically,
We're asking.
yeah, the grants we're asking for a non-discrimination policy.
Okay. And then the easement for Norfolk Southern,
Mhm.
how did that come about?
So that's been in discussion for probably maybe a year now, maybe not quite a year. Basically, that involves, a strip of property, for Norfolk Southern Railroad, which we're working with to obtain more property for the bike trail. But this is basically giving them, access to some of their adjacent property.
Adjacent to the bike trail?
It's all in the, basically in that same area. So it's an easement essentially to run, electric through the trailhead behind the senior citizen center.
Okay, but it won't impact the bike trail.
No, I've had the engineer take a look at it. I've looked at it. Prosecutor took a look at it. The Norfolk, Southern, easement.
Yeah, yeah, have a concern.
Yeah.
And I reviewed the maps as well.
We're giving them that easement, I think, kind of not exchange, but working with them to acquire some more property for the
Yeah.
bike trail,
Yeah.
my understanding. Very good.
Thank you.
Amy? If you would, please.
A resolution approving the payment of invoices for the Madison County Auditor.
So moved.
Second. With first and a second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakus?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution regarding the Board of Commissioners' response to the liquor permit application for venue 38
Where's that at?
on Route 38, right outside of town.
Directly across the street from Bogan Reps.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I thought you were joking.
I didn't know where it was. I've never been there. Oh, visit.
I'll move that the board does not object to the issuance of the requested V5 liquor permits and waives the right to a hearing.
Second. With first and a second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakus?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution approving a lease agreement between the Board of Madison County Commissioners and Bridges Community Action. There was an addition, to say that the commissioners will pay, the difference of the market rate, for that piece of property to keep it.
So moved.
Second.
With first and a second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakus?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace.
Yes.
A resolution approving contracts for basement flooring replacement and painting in the Madison County Courthouse West was both of those recommendations.
They were the lowest. By far.
Yes, they are the lowest, and, this was not budgeted. This is not in this year's budget. Basically, the judge kind of approached Dan later after the budget and said, hey, we need to get this done. So he went ahead and went out and, got the quotes, went through the procurement policy, and this is the lowest and best that we have, so.
If you
But
haven't,
again, it was something that wasn't budgeted.
if you haven't been back there, maybe you should go visit.
I,
You have.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not something that needs to be done. I would have liked to have budgeted for it.
But it needs to be done.
So. I move to approve.
okay, I'll second.
Move first and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution approving the Madison County Sheriff to enter into a contract with the City of London for police dispatch services.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution approving a transfer of funds for the Madison County Common Police Court.
Second.
Move first and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution accepting the Madison County Department of Family and Children non-discrimination of services policy.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution approving the granting of an easement to Norfolk Southern Railway Company.
Second.
Move first and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution approving an expedited type 2 petition for annexation to the Village of Plain City for 70.5 acres from Darby Township, Madison County, Ohio.
And this is just reviewing which one they said, then we have a few of these.
This is the type 2. This is the one that you accepted the petition last week, so this is officially approving it.
And this is basically the cut and dry, I mean, if they
Yeah.
meet the statutory requirements.
Correct.
Yeah.
If we don't approve it, it gets sued.
So moved.
Second.
Move first and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
And that's property that Devil had purchased, and yes.
A resolution accepting a regular annexation petition for approximately 79 acres from Darby Township to the City of Dublin. This is just accepting it for the journal.
So moved.
Second.
Move first and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
A resolution approving the issuance of a public notice and scheduling a public hearing for the regular annexation petition involving approximately 79 acres from Darby Township to the City of London. So this is a regular one, so you have to have a public hearing no less than 60, no more than 90 days. So I had put it on the schedule for June 17th, and this is how notice has in the paper, so you're approving the notice to go.
And it's the City of Dublin, not London.
Did I say London?
Thought-
City of
thought I
Dublin.
heard that.
So, yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Move first and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Resolution approving a transfer of funds from Madison County Family Council.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Dr. Sneakers? Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, we're a little early for a public session, but anybody has comments, questions, concerns, feel free. Steve?
Yeah, assuming no communication, you've heard anything from Vanguard or around the project and so forth.
Look, Vanguard's still been very quiet.
Yeah, we've had kind of conflicting messages in terms of their status on the project. I believe we informed you at maybe a different meeting. With federal EPA, they indicated the project was paused. MTV did a story on it saying the project was paused. They reached out to Vanguard. Initially, Vanguard said, no, it's not paused. They received the EPA evidence and they had no comments. Based on what you indicated, they had reached out to Ohio Edison or First Energy for electric lines. As far as we know, they are still actively seeking easements with property owners. We're still trying to gather more on that. So it's not clear if they're really pausing or not. Billy Kappner at Vanguard indicated in one of the articles, they are confident they would get the easements and they're gonna continue on, but that's just from talking. So it's not clear exactly where they are at on the project. So we're actively doing whatever we can to help stop it.
It's good. Yeah, I think they're feeling the pressure, so that's good.
Is there a compost site on the correction facility in Winter?
Yes,
There's. That similar to a fire district?
yeah,
Just
actually, the county's a pass-through for the grant. That helps fund that private company, basically, and there's a partnership there, but it's composting.
And how does it go? Goes fine.
Yeah, we've never heard anything bad about it. Haven't heard anything good about it, just, you know, it seemed to be operating within all their parameters and must be successful if they're still operating, so, but no
Sure.
complaints.
Just didn't know if there was.
Does the county have oversight over composting facilities, or is that something you aren't unable to zone?
Well, considering it's on state property in Garcia, that they're exempt from our zoning. I don't know.
I can't think of anything within our zoning regulations that applies directly to composting, though, even if it weren't on government property.
Yeah,
Because I'm not a technical expert, but there's a fine line between digestate and compost.
I don't know if there's any relation there between the two.
There wouldn't be a possibility Vanguard could say this site they have is for compost.
And the procedure is so much different.
Yeah.
I mean, compost doesn't capture gas.
Yeah.
So farmers compost dead animals, they compost manure, that's part
I
of it.
mean, I think it would be difficult to make an argument that compost has some kind of relation to public utilities. It's also on private property, so, if there were violations, regardless of, you know, what they were doing, it would still be enforceable against them.
The only thing I'll point out, which I think we pointed out before, is Vanguard has now repeatedly said there will be no manure used on site. I think the Ohio EPA said that to us as well.
Obviously, they didn't say that to us, but it's,
We haven't talked to them in,
right, it's been
Come on,
months
tell
at
you.
this point.
yeah,
It's not like they're sharing their engineering plans with the county.
You said they are?
Oh,
Are not.
Are not, absolutely. No discussion, no, it's not, it's not.
It's a whole part of the operation.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. I thought they needed manure to get the reaction that they needed.
Yeah, if they could bring organisms in and start the reactions like
Without
yeast did, you know. And I'm wondering if the federal, up in the federal, you know, there's a lot of cuts with the EPA and everything else. I wonder if there was, you know, funding problems now, which, you know, would be good for us. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if Vanguard got federal funding or what. I don't know.
I know I did talk to somebody representing Vanguard, and they did mention green energy credits was something that was important to the project.
They sell those, right?
I'm not an expert, but I know it sounds familiar.
You can find some green energy credits on the markets, yes, the credits are funded.
And their attorneys indicated to me that was
Yeah.
their intention.
So a company that can't be green can buy green energy credits from a company that is green and balance their whatever portfolio out. That's, I mean, I have a very limited understanding of it, but I think that's what's going on.
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. So development might buy some wooded area and say, this is our green part for this particular area without actually having it on site.
And there's large corporations do that too,
Yeah.
large emitters just buy green energy credits, yeah.
He had indicated that that's one of TC Energy's incentives to connect and to find a way to the site. I don't know if that's true or not.
So some green credits, by wooded area.
I guess another question is the county, as you mentioned, Mike Carey and Bernie Marino, is the county having any interaction with the federal officials? Because our group has met with them and asked them to do a few things, and they're very simple things, and it's been difficult to get any movement on those items. So I don't know if the county has any interaction.
What have you requested of them? What have you asked them to do?
The most simple thing from most offices was just to issue a statement or video in support of our opposition.
Okay.
That would be something that would take a few minutes to write something or to do a video. We would think, how long would that take to do? We've asked that both offices, and, they're waiting months at least between the two offices for any support on that. That's the easiest thing that we could ask them to do.
The only interaction we've had is the same that you guys have had in those emails, hey, we'll take it back to DC and make our people aware of it. That's the extent of it.
Bernie Moreno's two representatives who were here last week, they said it's in the hands of the folks in DC. They haven't heard anything back. They know they're swamped. That's what they told us.
Refill.
Refill.
That stretch of, 70 between, 142 and 270. 142. Wow.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
That is chunking some cars off, isn't it? It's, Saturday I had about, in that real bad stretch, I think I saw 10 or 12 cars. All side roads, batteries.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I think you have a day you guys can close down, work from home.
What,
Well, considering your basement, we're gonna have, it's probably gonna be an all-day thing.
I should have brought that up because that's a new development.
Antimicrobial
Right.
treatments.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't, perhaps it is mold, but it's not black, right? It's very green. It looks like algae. And there was some standing water, but that's not unusual when we have heavy storms like we've had. And we have dehumidifiers down there running every day, two, at least, I think 3 right now. But yeah, this, I guess mold is started to develop in one corner and is starting to spread. And we just identified that last week, told Dan. I mean, yeah, we can make it happen, be strategic about a day.
Yeah.
It,
I mean, they can work if they want, it's just there's a smell that comes from that spray.
we can,
Employees usually complain about it, so, I mean, it's not harmful, but it's a sheriff work through it. But knowing what we know, maybe it's the easiest, but we still gotta go through the procurement policy and get the three sheriffs and so forth, so on, so.
What we're dealing with, starting to develop. It's not horrible at this stage, obviously, don't be all great, but yeah, and I wondered that, but it's a new development. That was, it's not been built. I go down to the basement probably about once a week or so.
I thought your office was down.
Just to, check on the stats. We've had plumbing issues, water issues. Just making sure that nothing's changed. But yeah, that was, and we were actually tipped off by, it was the fire extinguisher inspector who came through and then tipping it off to the, I went down.
Or how old that happens.
That's a good question. It has character. I like it, but it's pretty full and we have no more room to expand and we struggle to find rooms for meetings and storage.
Divide our office in half.
It's unreal. It's, upstairs, if you've been up there, it's just one big circle, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of traffic comes through everybody's office.
Yeah, we lived in a house for a couple of years, so it was like, I was pre-kid, so it was okay, but yeah, that's an interesting design.
You lived in that house?
No, a house similar to that, or the upstairs was a,
Just to get to other rooms.
yeah, you have to walk through one, but then to get to the other room to get to the other, so basically you have to walk through
Offices to get to.
bed, well, yeah, in other case, bedrooms, to get to the last bedroom, you have to go through all of the stuff.
That was for legal purposes.
Very odd, shut up.
Makes sense. I can't imagine.
How long has that that house been in the prosecutor's office, do you know?
Well, I know that, Steve took over in '96 and he was upstairs in the old sheriff's office
Okay.
when he started there.
Didn't that burn?
I'm sorry?
Didn't it burn at one time?
That was back when it was the Board of Education.
Yeah.
The ESC.
Yeah, prior to being prosecutor's office. Yeah, I would guess sometime in probably earlier than that, in 2000.
15 years ago, 20, I've been
When
here
I-
24 years now, so maybe 15 to 20 years. So.
When I started practicing already in that building, that was, I think more than 15 years ago.
When I busted the guy for child pornography and other pornography.
I was here.
No, this was a long time ago.
Well, there was something else going on.
Well, I don't know about it now, but this was a person sneaking in and. So, it wasn't,
An employee,
huh?
an employee.
I don't know if I really want to say.
Yes, we are being recorded. Reminder.
You just jogged my memory, so I know what you're talking about.
Why do I remember that?
It was before.
I know, but I must have been told.
Yeah, probably. It was very interesting story, I'll have to tell you at some point.
Well, you did. I just forgot.
How far are you thinking, Rob? Like how long it would take to get the quotes and schedule it?
Couple of weeks of. Now, scheduling that, I'm not sure about.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume with all this rain that these companies that do this are gonna be pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, our schedule is pretty consistent in that, the courts maintain dockets. So, certain days of the week would be better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything like imminent health risk or anything like that, so we can schedule it out. If, or interfere at least. But like I said, they can still occupy the office space while it's being done, but, whether or not you want to,
Deal with the complaints.
yes.
Sure. And maybe it's like a half day thing. Yeah, they come and, 1 o'clock or something, and that's when they close.
Yeah. This is the same thing that
Looks like it.
I assume you guys got the same. I'll talk about the potato salad.
Well, the potato salad, I want to try to try.
That's potato salad again. I wonder if Sugar's got one.
Walking on water.
Yeah. I can't, in that movie, I can't figure out why that guy just didn't wait it out until spring and then.
Me neither.
Make the journey.
But I would have done. I thought that,
I mean, they were living pretty good there for a minute.
yeah, In a cave?
Yeah.
What brings you food?
I don't know why they didn't eat the cat. The tiger or whatever.
They did, yeah,
Oh, they could have lived there for a long time.
a priest dried it.
Well, yeah.
So how serious do you take letters that people don't sign their name to?
That's what it says.
You're welcome to see it if you wish. There's 3 of them, but I want them back because I gotta read them. You know what I mean?
Your retaliation, I don't know, why would they?
I don't think it's all that bad, but they have the right to.
That puts you on shit.
I would. Plus, a lot of those things are already addressed, that they would just read the minutes from the previous. But anyway. Has nothing to do with Madison County.
Or listen, not.
And we run out of cups in the water fountain.
Oh, I don't know.
2 weeks now.
Dan changed our mat once a month. And somehow in the midst of that, the cup thing got,
Why don't we get our own cups? Why do we have to hire that?
that's a good question.
Cups of 50 dispenser. I believe they're included with those. Awesome.
No, we pay extra.
Mhm.
We pay for the cups.
Right, but I mean, they have cups that fit that particular dispenser.
Well, dispensers, there's a lot of different ones.
Yeah, I suppose that's just nice
You
outside.
can get them for less. Should have kept the water fountain.
Wasn't ADA accessible?
There are ADA accessible water fountains. I mean, I want to.
But they're not the ones that we could mount down. Because you have to have something underneath of it for, blind people with the cane. They have to be able to hit something underneath of it, so they don't run into it.
I get it. I mean, we need to make it as accessible as possible, but it's not accessible now because I can't get a drink of water.
I'm sure there's a cup around here you can use. Right there,
Hey, no, that's been sitting there for 4 years.
what's the one behind you?
I don't know. I don't mind. At least put a hose there or something.
Bathroom water.
Like a dog.
No, no, I like that one. Everyone, people were complaining that the, the cell, the holding cells and that they had to drink out of the toilet. They were raising all kinds of trouble with that, and it was like, as they're building together, the drinking fountains buildings in the back. I
Oh, okay, good.
Together in one.
Here's the I got him.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
It's not, that's what I'm saying, it's really. So I'm sure we'll have a very robust discussion about
Here.
a lot of these problems that we're having.
They must have.
It's really,
I mean, it's a good fit. Yeah, right. I think they're meeting tomorrow.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'll take them home and read
They
it.
will start talking about, you know,
Oh, okay.
Joe, they asked me, I think if I asked them. Is it me, Megan, or maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Oh, it's not. It's a lot. And it's great. I feel like.
Brendan, you going any place fun?
Going to Rhode Island.
Nice,
From Richard Trump and Randy Lewis.
that's cool.
But you asked me to.
Years ago, they had lobsters. Plenty of lobsters, not as many as me, I went to school in Maine. Can you bring some back?
So I do remember
I could see, we're not that close to the coast, but maybe when we go to Maine.
But I'm not.
I wanna go, my wife wants to go. I was thinking more of a drive. It's been, you know, 2 days here, 1 day there.
New England coast.
I know.
And she's like, I'll be here and I'll be here, and they're valuables. So you have to say. Chocolate donut. The only reason I took.
Just to the southern border.
We'll talk to
Take
Patty.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's supposed to pass that all.
That was.
Oh, so you were.
Yeah, last week.
I drove it.
All right, it is 9:30. This is the time we had set aside for the Health Department and National Public Health Week proclamation. I will now read said proclamation. Thank you. Whereas the American Public Health Association has declared April 7th to April 13th, 2025 as National Public Health Week as a time to educate the public on issues that are important to improve the health of the people of the United States. Whereas a person's health status can differ drastically by zip code due to differences in the built environment, environmental quality, community contacts, access to healthy food, access to education, and access to healthcare. Whereas many of the leading causes of death for individuals in the United States result from chronic conditions, which are among the most common, costly, and preventable of all health challenges. Whereas studies show that small, strategic investments in disease prevention can result in significant savings in healthcare costs. Whereas Madison County Public Health employs dedicated professionals who carry out the critical mission of public health to help Madison County prevent, prepare for, withstand, and recover from the impact of a full range of health threats, ranging from infectious disease outbreaks to natural disaster preparedness. Whereas Madison County Public Health staff collaborates with partners outside of their health sector, or outside of the health sector, including city/village planners, transportation officials, education officials, and private sector businesses, recognizing that other sectors can influence health outcomes. Whereas efforts to adequately support public health and the prevention of disease and injury continue to transform a health system focused on treating illness into a healthy system focused on preventing disease and injury and promoting wellness. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners in Madison County, on behalf of all the residents of Madison County, do hereby proclaim the week of April 7th to April 13th, 2025 as Public Health Week. The board recognizes that a strong, sustained commitment to public health is essential to maintain a healthy community and supports the efforts to improve the overall quality of life for all residents of and visitors to Madison County.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second, any other discussion? None heard, roll call please.
Mr. Shea,
Yes.
Dr. Lucas,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Want a picture?
Sure.
You can come up too. Come on,
I'll take a picture.
come on, she takes the pictures. Well, you gotta get in, you're here. Come on, Myron, you could be in the picture too. Myron loves public health.
Well, he's a
He's a DAC, ordinance, DAC.
You're here.
That's all.
Thank you.
I'll stay here.
Resolution.
No, yeah.
Remaining seat.
It's like show and tell right now.
Yeah, I don't know what you got out of the picture.
I don't need to be there. I don't, you know,
Looks like it's done.
Everything.
I know I'm the eye candy most of the time, especially.
I was like, read this one.
Any measles in Madison County?
No,
Good.
from what, no.
We don't want it.
That's me.
We don't want it.
So I think there's still 10, maybe 11 in Ohio, Ashtabula and Knox. And then there's 600 across the nation right now, 607 last time I checked.
Yeah.
22 different states.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Ron?
Yeah, that's the problem. The AT process.
It's not the thing part.
You watched the game last night?
I did not,
It's a good game.
I boycotted. I boycotted after Duke lost.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
Went right up to the end.
Right, after-
Shot off in the 16 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
They were down, what, 20 points there at one point in time? Florida.
yeah, yeah. I watched the last 3 minutes of it. I did watch the last.
You watched the last 3 minutes?
I had Florida and Duke in my bracket. With Florida winning the championship, but Duke blew that game. I think Duke, Florida would have been a much more exciting national championship.
I don't know, that one was pretty exciting.
If you like 33% field goal percentage,
Yeah, that's true.
I think both teams shot like 36% from the field and like 25 from three.
You know, the defense in the paint was intense.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess it was a pretty low scoring game. Well, not, I guess not,
That's pretty-
for basketball,
That's
but
pretty low
I
score.
mean, for NCAA.
65, 63, I forget what the under was in that game, but I'm sure the under is quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's that?
Which in turn,
Wait, I don't know. But if you catches everything's on. See, look at my finger.
just don't poke my ear.
Yeah. Make sure you use the right finger.
Just stay here, we could have finished them off.
I hear 'em out there. So much.
Brett, did you have anything today?
Yeah. Look here, come on.
Yeah,
Okay.
right ahead.
Just a couple things. I appreciate you guys' time, base commissioners. So I've done, I just received some public records requests, that were past due for about a year from Rebecca. I apologize, my printer was acting up this morning. I was gonna print it off. Dr. Zick, you asked about me not being able to bid on the RFP. I have documentation in an email that was sent to Clark County that the only reason that my company was removed from the project was not because of fraud, not because of all these other things. And it says very specific, and I'll forward you guys the emails to the commissioners. Was delays on the project. And the majority of that was because of rerouting and change orders. Because of like Medway and things like that, they didn't want me to go through a sewer system that was like a vacuum system, so they didn't want me to go through there, so we had to go get a private easement. And ultimately, the owner of the property did not want to get a private easement,
I
so
thought it was because you were ill at that time.
I was too. But that's, there was a lot of other underlying issues behind that, but when I got my accident, that was one of the causes, because he was saying that this was but I'll forward you guys an email so you guys have the documentation. And again, I'm gonna ask that we send this back out to an RFP to properly label, because I have not still received a copy of the RFPs that were submitted by the contractors to see if the information was disclosed to them, that there was no plowing, and the information that was received prior to the RFP being issued, if that was disclosed in the RFP. Because I don't want to see, it's just not for me, but it's other companies as well. I don't want to see somebody go bankrupt, right? Because of decisions that were being made. And that's all I'm asking. I'm just to reissue the RFP out to the public. That's all I ask, to get a fair and equitable bid and be in full transparency. Second thing is, as you're aware, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's the issue with David Yost on the right of way. I am being represented by Bricker and Graves, my company is. And there's been communications from my attorney to Madison County, but no return phone calls. And I just want to make sure that that process and who we communicate with, and that because there was a gentleman's agreement back about 17 months ago. My understanding is that we were going to wait for the opinion from Dave Yost to come out, and then we would have the ability to sit down and communicate. So I just want to make sure that that's an open communication before we go into full litigation against the county. I'm trying to get this, settled, because I'm a taxpayer of the county as well, other people, and there are daily damages being occurred on this, and I'm just trying to mitigate those for the county as well. And I'm just trying to get my stuff, in my business as well, so. And that's all I have.
When you say daily damages, what are you referring to, daily damages?
I can't disclose the specifics of the case, of that, because,
And he's represented by counsel.
I'm represented by counsel.
Best not to do that.
And so we're just trying to open a line of communication, because there was things that were done, that were not right. And it impacted my business dramatically, in a very major financial issue. And Mr. Atkins is over, but, and
So you're saying things we're doing, things we've done, that you're going to pursue litigation against us, because if you are, because if they are, these communications are probably gonna stop very
well,
soon.
no, we're just trying
And we're
to,
not gonna have an open conversation with you if you're suing us.
we're just
I think
trying,
that would be the recommendation of our council as well.
Correct.
we're
We're
just
happy
trying.
to talk to you, but if there's pending litigation, like,
This might clear a few things up. I was contacted by Summer Shealy, Sir Office's attorney. That occurred 6 days ago by phone call, and there was a follow-up email yesterday. I've not had the opportunity to speak to you since then. I did that earlier this morning. I intend to return the call.
that's, I just want some communication. I mean, I'm trying to move forward in my life too, so.
Yeah, it's been 6 days.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, you're good. Good. Good minutes, to see if everybody knows what's fine. Good minutes. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Smooth, smooth. No,
Starts.
that's okay. No one's here. We got it. It's gone to the very end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9:45. Time we had set aside for open session, public comment. Are there any additional comments, questions, concerns to come before the board? Hearing none. Yes.